Mike and Doris went to a singing Friday night, and there was a guy told a story there that will probably encourage me to ask people to come to church everywhere I go. And if all of us would, just one, next Sunday, we'd have to get out folding chairs. But this guy said, the guy named, I believe his name was Carl West. Is that what his name was, Mike? They called him. Yeah, something West. Anyway, this guy that's telling the story has wrote 400 songs for Southern gospel music and has been the gospel singing writer, songwriter of the year for 13 years straight. He wrote My Name is Lazarus and just gobs of others. But he said, I didn't have the privilege of being raised in a Christian home. He said, my father was an alcoholic. And he started the story by saying that Carl West called him, wanting to go fishing. And he said, when he calls and wants me to go fishing, I drop whatever I'm doing and I go fishing. He said, Carl West is 80 years old, and somehow him and Dad worked side by side. And one time he asked Dad to come to church, and he said he had won my daddy's confidence somehow. He said he didn't talk much. He said he sat over there where Mike and Doris was sitting in church every Sunday. Never testified, never sung, didn't have any talent, never prayed. He was just there. He was faithful. And he said, he asked Daddy to go to church. So the next Sunday, his daddy said, we're going to church today. He went and heard the gospel and got saved. And he said, because of Carl West, I have written 400, he didn't say that, the other guy said that, but I thought it in my mind because he asked him to come to church. He wrote 400 gospel songs. His dad, well, I ain't got there yet. And I was thinking about these kids, the lives they could touch just by asking one person to come to church with you. And if they come, what it could affect, we don't know what he's going to do. I hope he uses what he's learning for God's business. I have taught little kids to play, and they used it for some other business. But if you use it for God's business, son, it'll be profitable now and forever. But he said, and today, now this is Friday, he said, Sunday morning, my dad will get up in the pulpit in Kentucky. He's pastoring a church. Carl West touched no telling at the lives, and he touched mine that night, Friday night. And I'll never forget the story. And I am more encouraged now. Just, you don't have to get them down on their knees in the aisle at Walmart. You can invite them to church, they'll hear the gospel. Yeah. And if they come and hear the gospel, once they've heard it, it's nothing to you, it's their problem. But you get them here and watch what happens. And it excited me. And kids, y'all invite other friends your age to church. You don't have to witness to them. Nice if you can, if God opens the door, you step in there and give them everything you got. But invite them to church where they can hear the gospel.
Glory I